What comes after the end of the world? In this final episode, we witness the fall of Odin, the mutual destruction of Loki and Heimdall, and the final blow of Surtr's fire that consumes the realms. But Ragnarok was never just about death, it was about rebirth. Through fire and chaos, a new world rises. New gods, new humans, and a renewed earth born from the ashes of the old. But did Odin and the gods truly fail? Or was their destruction part of a greater plan? And can life survive the end of everything? Let's unravel the last chapter of Norse mythology, where death leads to rebirth. Subscribe to the channel Best of History and Mythology, leave a like, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss more epic journeys into ancient myths. As the chaos of Ragnarok unfolded, the All-Father Odin faced his fated nemesis. Fenrir, the colossal wolf born of Loki's line. Odin, the ruler of the Norse gods and the guardian of wisdom, had long known that his destiny was sealed. Prophecies foretold that he would fall in battle against the monstrous Fenrir. Still, Odin, ever fearless, mounted his steed Sleipnir and led the charge against the forces of chaos. With his spear Gungnir in hand, Odin fought valiantly across the battlefield, his wisdom and battle-hardened skill guiding the Aesir through the maelstrom. Yet even his vast knowledge could not prevent the inevitable. Fenrir, whose jaws stretched from earth to sky, charged toward Odin, the embodiment of destruction and chaos. Odin met Fenrir head-on, striking blow after blow with Gungnir, but the wolf's strength was beyond anything Odin had faced. With one final ferocious lunge, Fenrir seized Odin in his massive jaws and devoured him, fulfilling the grim prophecy. The fall of Odin sent shockwaves through the ranks of the gods, as the All-Father, their greatest leader and protector, was no more. But Odin's death did not go unavenged. Vidar, Odin's son, driven by grief and rage, attacked Fenrir with unmatched fury. In a climactic struggle, Vidar tore the wolf's jaws apart, slaying the beast and avenging his father. Yet, even this victory could not halt the destruction brought by Ragnarok. If you knew your father would die and you couldn't stop it, would you still fight for revenge or for the future? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Vidar's revenge was justice or just more destruction? Odin's fall symbolized the collapse of Asgard and the end of the old order of gods. The death of the All-Father, the wisest and most powerful of the Aesir, signaled that the age of the gods was drawing to a close. In the final moments of Ragnarok, Loki, the ever-shifting trickster, made his last and most fateful move. Having broken free from his chains, Loki stood at the head of the forces of chaos, leading the Jotuns and his monstrous children, Fenrir and Jormungand, into battle against the Norse gods. This was the ultimate culmination of his betrayals, and now he stood ready to face his destiny. Loki's final act was a duel against his eternal rival, Heimdall, the watchful guardian of the Bifrost. Heimdall, ever vigilant, had seen Loki's treachery from the beginning, and their fates were intertwined. As the armies clashed around them, Loki and Heimdall faced off, each knowing that this battle would end in mutual destruction. The two fought fiercely, their weapons clashing in a storm of fury. Loki, driven by vengeance and chaos, unleashed his full power, but Heimdall was relentless, determined to protect Asgard and the gods he had served for so long. In the end, neither could overpower the other, and both struck mortal blows at the same time, collapsing together on the battlefield. Loki's death symbolized the end of the old world, a world he had helped create but also sought to destroy. His final act, both a betrayal and a sacrifice, showed the complexity of his character in Norse mythology, a figure who embodied both creation and destruction, chaos and cunning. Even in death, Loki's influence lingered, as his actions had set the wheels of Ragnarok in motion, ensuring the downfall of the Aesir and the destruction of the world. His role in mythology explained the inevitable cycle of fate that no god, not even Loki, could escape. The death of Thor, the fall of Odin, and the destruction of key figures like Fenrir and Jormungand signaled that the end was near. From the fiery realm of Muspelheim, the giant Surtr unleashed his wrath upon the world. Wielding a flaming sword, Surtr's every step scorched the earth, and his fire spread across the realms. As he moved forward, flames consumed Midgard, Asgard, and Jotunheim, reducing the worlds to ash. The once mighty Yggdrasil, the world tree that connected all realms, trembled under the weight of the destruction. Its branches, which had sustained the 9 realms, burned and broke, severing the cosmic ties that held the universe together. The seas rose as Jormungand's death thrashed the oceans, causing waves to engulf Midgard. Mountains crumbled, cities were swallowed, and even the god's majestic home of Asgard fell to ruin, consumed by the flames of Surtr. The world, once teeming with life and protected by the divine power of the Norse gods, now faced utter annihilation. Fire, water, and ash overtook the land, leaving no trace of the once glorious realms. Surtr's final blow, the sweeping firestorm, reduced everything to a barren wasteland. This was the ultimate conclusion of Ragnarok, the foretold end of the gods and the realms they had long protected. If this epic conclusion moved you, subscribe to Best of History and Mythology, like this video, and turn on the bell for more powerful stories. We bring the greatest legends to life. Don't miss the next mythological journey. Yet, even amid the chaos and ruin, the seeds of rebirth remained. As the old world was consumed by fire, it was not the end, but the beginning of something new. The forces of destruction unleashed by Loki and the Jotuns were part of a greater cosmic cycle in Norse mythology, a story of death and renewal that promised the dawn of a new world, born from the ashes of the old. In the aftermath of Ragnarok, when the fire of Surtr had burned the world to ash, and the great tree Yggdrasil had trembled but not fallen, a new world began to emerge. The destruction of the old realms, Asgard, Midgard, and Jotunheim, gave way to a rebirth, a cycle long foretold in Norse mythology. Out of the ruins of the fallen gods, the earth was renewed, fresh and green. From the ashes, 2 humans, Lif and Lifthrasir, who had hidden deep within Yggdrasil during the destruction, emerged to repopulate Midgard. These survivors, untouched by the cataclysm, symbolized the resilience of life, ensuring that humanity would endure the apocalypse. As they stepped into the dawn of this new era, they began the task of rebuilding the world, free from the chaos and conflict that had plagued the gods. Do you believe the world always deserves a second chance? Comment below. Would you trust a new world to do better than the last? The surviving gods also rose from the destruction. Vidar and Vali, sons of Odin, and Magni and Modi, the children of Thor, inherited the mantle of the old gods, bringing with them the knowledge of the past. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, passed into the hands of his sons, ensuring that its protection would continue in this new world. These young gods, untouched by the curses and tragedies of their forefathers, represented the hope and strength of the new age. The twilight of the gods had given way to a new dawn, and the survivors of Ragnarok looked toward a future filled with possibility. This era of peace, growth, and rebirth marked the completion of the cosmic cycle, where creation followed destruction in the eternal rhythm of Norse culture. Though the gods had fallen, the promise of renewal ensured that their stories and those of humanity would continue, growing ever stronger in the new world. In Norse mythology, the destruction of the world during Ragnarok was not the end, but part of a greater eternal cycle of death and rebirth. The creation of the world from the body of the primordial giant Ymir, the rise and fall of the Norse gods, and the battles fought against the Jotuns all reflected the cyclical nature of existence. Just as the old world was destroyed, a new one emerged from the ashes, with fresh life blossoming once more. This cosmic cycle, where creation follows destruction, mirrored the seasons of the earth and the rhythms of life itself. The gods, like Odin, Thor, and Frey, may have fallen in battle, but their legacy continued through their descendants. The new gods, such as Vidar and Magni, represented renewal and continuity, ensuring that the divine presence endured even in the new world. The survival of humanity through Lif and Lifthrasir further emphasized the resilience of life in the face of chaos. These two figures, sheltered within the protective branches of Yggdrasil, ensured that humanity would rise again, ushering in a new era. The concept of the eternal cycle was central to Norse culture and mythology. It reflected the belief that the world, like all living things, must experience both growth and decay, creation and destruction. The tale of Norse mythology, from the creation of the world to its ultimate destruction and rebirth, is a reminder that nothing truly ends, and that from every ending comes a new beginning. Thank you for walking the path of the gods with us. See you in the next myth, always here on Best of History and Mythology.